Welcome back to Life with Dr. Trish. I know you're surprised to see me on camera, right? But I have a lot to talk to you about. First of all, if you're new to my channel, I'm Dr. Trish Varner, and on my channel, I like to talk about inspirational life stories, and that often leads to discussing family trees and ancestry tests or DNA tests or ancestral backgrounds. So if you like any of those things, don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you won't miss any of my videos. So I have a good topic to talk about today. I can't wait to share with you, but let me talk about a few things first, right? First of all, I've been trying to do my own makeup. Y'all, if y'all watched that video it's been a while now, maybe a month ago or so. I was on camera with my oldest daughter. She was giving me a makeup tutorial, and I made a promise to her that I'm going to really try to leave the house looking better, because if y'all would see me sometimes in public, but I'm working on it, y'all. I really am. Anyway, so I did my makeup today. This is after I worked 11 hours on my first job, y'all. And I thought about going to bed after I worked all those long hours, right? Because it's been a long day. Then I realized that I needed to submit something for a company I've contracted with. Growing on YouTube, I was contracted with a company that wanted me to do a promotional video for them. So I needed to shoot some scenes for them, and it has to be done by tomorrow. So I said, since I have to do my makeup anyway, let me go ahead and do a video, because I really missed y'all, right? This is how committed I am. I'm trying, y'all. I know I haven't gotten a video out every single week, but I am trying. I hope you all are doing well. Anyway, I have a whole list of things to talk about on here. The main thing I want to talk about, did you see the video where Smokey Robinson was saying that he doesn't consider himself African American? We're going to talk about that. You want to know what I think about it? I'm going to tell you. Let's go ahead and take a look at Smokey Robinson's video, and then we're going to come back and talk about it. Here we go, y'all.
You have said that you resent the idea of being called an African American, that
Yes.
you are a Black American.
Yes.
Explain.
I think that when they call Black people who were born and raised for generations in this country, if you accept the handle of African American, that says that you don't accept being an American American. You don't accept being born in Chicago or New York or Detroit or wherever you were born. For generations, your family has been here, built this country too. Sweat and tears and all that, fought in every war, okay? So this is my country here. So I don't want to be called African American. I'm an American American. My people have died and done everything for this country.
All right, y'all. So what did you think about that? I'm going to share my thoughts, and I know some people are not going to feel the same way that I do, and that's okay, but I'm going to break it down why I agree with Mr. Robinson. First of all, I have to give him applause. Kudos, Mr. Robinson. And before you start really saying, what is she talking about? You're ashamed to be from Africa. No, I'm not. I'm not ashamed to be a descendant from Africa. Not at all. As a matter of fact, I love my African brothers and sisters, but I really think there comes a point where we have to realize that we're kind of like our own group of people, right? And I'm going to explain to you why I feel that way. First of all, we've been in America for hundreds of years. I never liked the term African American. And the reason why is we were born here in America. And in my eyes, African American would be someone who was born in Africa and then moved to America and became a citizen of America. That would be African American because they were born in a different area, a different continent. You know, if you were born in Nigeria, you would be Nigerian American. If you were born in Kenya and you moved to America and became a citizen, you would be Kenyan American. But we were born in America. How can we be African American when we were not born in Africa? So I agree with Mr. Robinson on that. Yes, thumbs up. I've always felt like that, right? How do I refer to myself? I refer to myself as Black American. Although we are Black American, we do have a unique culture. We do have a shared set of experiences. We have a shared background that is unique to us in America and may be different from other groups born here in America. The tribulations that we've shared together and the triumphs that we've experienced, I think that makes us different than other American experiences, right? But we are American through and through, in my opinion. For those of us who have been here for centuries, we were here prior to the Civil War. We helped found this country. We helped to build this country. America was built on the backs of Black Americans. This is our country. You know, we shed blood for this country. We shed tears. We fought for this country. So I agree with Smokey Robinson. We are not African Americans. I want to recognize the fact that my family lineage, they were here for centuries. Also, culturally, we are different from those who were born in Africa. I mean, Africa is so diverse anyway. A lot of times in America, we want to group Africa into one category, right? But there are so many different cultures, so many different tribes, so many different countries, you know, and they're all culturally different, right? All people in Africa don't look alike, of course. All people are not the same in Africa. And I think we should recognize too that our culture is different than the African cultures. We are very much so in American culture. Even though we are Black American, we are still part of the American culture. Now, let me tell you other reasons why I think like this. From the time I was a child, I would tell my parents, you know, I'm not African American, I'm Black. I'm Black American. I'm American. A lot of times when I meet African people, they recognize, or it seems like they understand that we want a connection with Africa more than they want us to have a connection with Africa. A lot of times that comes from wanting an identity, right? In my opinion, because we come from a past where so many things were stolen from us. We were brought here to America, meaning our ancestors were brought here to America through no choice of their own, right? And then we were forced to work a land, our ancestors were, and we were given names that did not belong to us. Yes, all of that happened to us. But guess what? We come from many different tribes as Black Americans, many different African tribes, right? And a lot of times in Africa, their culture is largely based upon what tribe they descended from. Well, we can't pinpoint one particular tribe that we are from. It's like we have to become our own tribe. We came here to America. We've lived here in America. We're a very diverse group of people as well. whether we want to admit it or not, or want to acknowledge that fact. And it's not even glorifying, it's just being truthful with ourselves, that's who we are, right? I had one person comment once before on my channel and said, if I discovered I had any white in me, I would kill myself. And I didn't reply back, because I hope that person never takes a DNA test, because the reality of the matter is, if you're a Black American, pretty much guaranteed you have some white European DNA. And that's just the reality of our history and where we come from, and the reality of slavery and the mixing that happened. The majority of all Black Americans have white European DNA. So, and it's sad to me to think, and I understand it. I understand why they feel that way, because they're looking at the pain that comes from our past, right? But I think it's time to get to a point now where we just have to deal with reality and what's presented before us. The truth is what it is, and that's our background, and we can't change our background, right? We can't change who our ancestors are. We can't change how they became our ancestors. But you know, we can acknowledge it and move forward. And I think along with that, it's coming to the realization that we are our own particular tribe now. You know, we came from, yes, Africa, a beautiful continent, and we descended from multiple countries in Africa and multiple tribes in Africa, many tribes that spoke several different languages and had different beliefs, but it made us who we are. We're this unique group of people, and we're not like any other group of people, and I think that's okay. But so last year also, there was this person from Africa, and I don't remember where specifically he was from, but he left me several messages about how Black Americans aren't African, and how, you know, we act like white Americans, and we need to stop calling ourselves African and acknowledge who we are, and that our fathers are white Americans. And just, I don't even remember all what he said, but the gist of it was he wanted to point out that we were not like those from Africa. You know, when I talked about that with other groups, they got offended, you know, by that. They were very hurt by the fact that someone from Africa would speak about Black Americans in that way. I myself, I wasn't offended at all. It doesn't offend me. And the reason why, well, let me take that back. Some of it did offend me when he started speaking negatively about Black Americans. That did offend me because, hey, I love my people, and I'm Black, and my family's Black. But that part where he was talking about we aren't African, and, you know, he wanted us to stop calling ourselves that didn't offend me. Because like I said, I've always had that belief that we aren't African Americans. I acknowledge that we descended from Africa, yes, and I'm proud of that fact. I am. But at the same time, I acknowledge that culturally and even genetically, we are different than those who were born in Africa. And that's okay. I think we can acknowledge, you know, that we are from the African diaspora and that we are descendants from Africa while also acknowledging that we are our own unique group of people, and that's okay, y'all. So I agree totally with Smokey Robinson, and I agree that we are not African American, but we are Black Americans. Hopefully one day America will get to the point where we don't have to call each other Black American or White American. By the way, you already know that no one walks around hardly saying they're White American. No, they just call themselves American, right? But when it comes to Black people, then they want to start putting extra labels on us to separate us from just being American. My hope is one day we all can just be American without that label of Black American, White American, or whatever, hopefully one day we can truly get to the point where we're just American. And I know there are people out there who will say, well, we are at that point. Racism doesn't exist. I see comments like this, and you know what I need to do? I think I need to do a video of just the racist, truly racist comments I get each week. You would be amazed. A couple of years ago, I received a message. I'm going to put it on the screen, but for now I'm just going to talk about it. He just threatened me. He called me the N-word. He threatened my daughter. This was just 2 years ago, you guys. And I didn't know this person. It's just sad that we are still in America experiencing things like that. Anyway, enough of that. I also recently watched a video on YouTube.
Finally, the ugly. Many of the locals, the Tanzanians, do not know who we are, so they kind of see us as just any average foreigner, which we are actually Africans. They don't necessarily see us as Africans all the time, especially if they know we're from America. Over here, they hear our accent, and we speak like English a certain way. Sometimes we're treated as foreigners in that we're overcharged for items and things, and then also when we go to leave the country or whatever, we're asked kind of questions like, which is common for a foreign person to be asked, but it's still kind of ugly in the fact that we are still Africans, and we are the 6th region Africans, and we were dispersed over 500 years ago. So it is really disheartening and kind of sad and ugly to be kind of treated like and treated like a foreigner, like we don't belong here when we are African as well. No, we don't. We weren't born here, and we don't know exactly where we are, where our tribe is, and what area of the continent that we're from. But being that we're here in Africa, and to be treated or ask questions from fellow Africans, questions pertaining to like, why are we here? When are we leaving? Like, it's just kind of disheartening, guys. I'm just saying it's kind of ugly. It's a hurting feeling, but it is what it is. It's what we experience here.
She was treated like an other. They treated her like an American. She said she was not treated like one of their sisters. I think it really shows too how some African people are not as open about receiving us as one of them as we think they should be, right? But the reality is we are different. We are not like them. We're like them, but not like them. We're our own group of people with unique experiences, a unique cultural background. I don't think we should get offended by things like that they don't see us like them. It's okay, because we're not like them exactly. And that's okay, y'all. It's okay. Now, I know what you'll say. I know a lot of African people who will welcome us and, and all of that. And that may be true. We can't really say that any one particular group acts the same, right? All Black Americans don't think or behave the same. We are all different people. So that's true that some African people will welcome us and receive us and treat us like their own. But I think we also need to see the other side of it too, that many of them will not. And it's because culturally we're not the same. And I can't wait to see y'all's comments, right? But I was working on my Rihanna video, which I'm still planning on putting out this week, by the way. That's going to be a good video, so stay tuned for that. I'm hoping to have that video out by Friday. Another point I want to bring up, many of you probably already know this, but at least 35% of Black American men actually have a white European, white DNA lineage. And the reason why I bring that up is because it doesn't matter how you look, right? You can look like a dark-skinned black man and still have a European haplogroup, and you still may have descended from a white European male. And the reason why I bring that up, not only are we American by culture, y'all, but genetically, we descended from many of the same European ancestors as our white counterparts. I know some of y'all don't want to hear that. I know that's maybe disappointing to some of you who want to be 100% black. It's just a matter of reality at this point. I think when we're starting to really look at ourselves, we need to look at all of who we are, right? Ancestry or lineage may be a part of who we are. Okay, now even if you're not part of that, at least 35% of Black American men who have a white European Y-DNA lineage, paternal haplogroup, you're still most likely part of that group of the majority of Black Americans who have a percentage of European DNA. All that to say is genetically we are also different from Africans. Genetically, we are our own group of people. You can't get any more American than we are. We helped build this country. We fought for this country. We died and cried and bled for this country. We've been here for centuries. And not only that, genetically, we've come from many of the same so-called founding fathers as many of our counterparts. So we are American through and through. I'm proud to say we are Black American. We have our unique experiences in America. We have the struggles we've gone through together. We've had the tribulations that bound us together, and we have the joy and the triumphs that we've experienced as a group of people, and that makes us unique, and that makes us different, and that makes us have our own culture, our own backgrounds, our own genetic background, our own experiences, and that is okay, y'all. But leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Should we call ourselves African American? Do you want to be called Black American? What do you prefer to be called? In 10, 15, 20 years from now, there's no telling what they may call us. Hopefully one day we'll get to the point where we're all just American. I don't know though. We have to remember too that we've gone through a lot of different names. Colored, Negro, Black. I don't know. Some of you may even say, well, I don't want to be called black either because our skin's not black. We're really brown. I know. Obviously, I'm not colorblind. I see that we are brown. But in my opinion, black is so much more than just a skin color, right? Culturally, I am good with being called Black American. But make sure you leave me a comment. Let's talk about it in the comments section. Do you agree with me and Smokey Robinson, or do you have a different view? Leave me a comment and let me know. Don't forget to come back also later on this week, and I am going to be talking about Rihanna's family background, her ancestral background, and her genetic background, and yeah, we'll talk about that. So if you've been waiting on that, stay tuned. It's coming out in a few days. I love you all. Thank you so much for supporting my channel, and I can't wait to see you again soon. Bye for now.